Welcome. You are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 17, National Football League. Boy, you talk about having it all on the line at week 17. This wasn't a championship game in terms of winning. You're in the division like a Bears, Packers, like a Cowboys, Eagles. But the Miami Dolphins have been through a lot of turmoil, a lot of adversity in 2013, and to be in a position that they're in this football game on Sunday, week 17, home against the Jets, you really couldn't ask for it much better than this. Simply needing to win, coupled with the Ravens loss, or a win, and a Chargers loss, or a win, or something like that. Look, it was really simple. The Ravens were going to lose, and I had already said this. Ravens were going to lose at Cincinnati. They weren't going into the juggle and winning. I had already expressed my feelings and thoughts on that game a month ago. So the Ravens were going to do their part and lose, okay? Cincinnati was going to take care of business at home. You didn't have to worry about that. All you had to worry about is your end of the deal, your end of the bargain, which was winning at home versus the Jets. So week 17, New York Jets on the road, 7-8, traveling to their intra-divisional rivals, the Miami Dolphins, coming into the game at 8-7 with it all on the line. You win this game, and for all intents and purposes, you're in the postseason. So simply win, and you're in if you're Miami. Even though you need some help, that help is going to come. You just need to take care of your business. Just beat the Jets at home. And this is going to be my only rant of this week because everybody else played solid football that needed to play solid football. Even if you were in a win-and-end situation, I had no expectations for the Ravens. None. I didn't expect them to make the postseason. I knew they were going to lose. So there's no reason to get mad and rant over a team that's supposed to lose when they go out and do what you expected them to do. No reason to get mad. So I'm not going to rant about the Ravens. And the Chargers got in, and I'll talk about them. The Steelers took care of business. I'll talk about them. I've already talked about those teams. I'm going to rant about the Dolphins because this is the team that I picked to make the postseason. The team that I thought had enough juice down the stretch and an easy enough schedule down the stretch to make it into the postseason. So I'll talk about this Dolphins team later on. Let's break this game down because there were two teams in this game, not just one. The Dolphins didn't lose this game on their own. They lost this game because the New York Jets showed up, slapped them in their mouth in their own building, and took this game from them. Let's break this thing on down. 7-8 Jets, 8-7 Dolphins, AFC East, family business. You know what time it is. You know the mantra, you know the motto. What happens in the family stays in the family. And the Jets made sure that they weren't going to the show, and neither were the Miami Dolphins. So, Dolphins pick up a few first downs, but have to punt. And Brandon Field kicks a clunker, 18 yards, and the Jets go 3-and-out. Now, normally, I don't bring up punts, and I don't talk about punts when I do these breakdowns, or else I'd be here all day. You don't have time to talk about punts. But I'm going to explain to you, and in this breakdown, you will get a manual on how not to make the postseason when you need to win one game to get in. This is how you play if you want to be eliminated from the postseason and don't go. This is it. This is the how-to on not going to the playoffs in a win-and-end situation. This is how you play. I'm going to show you step by step how the Miami Dolphins failed to win this football game and failed to get a ticket to the dance. So here's your first start right here. Dolphins pick up a few first downs, have a promising start to this game. However, drive bogs down right around midfield. It's okay. Things like that happen. Again, you're not going to score on every possession. So, this is the thing. You pick up a couple of first downs. Good teams, what they do with those couple of first downs is they use those first downs. Those first downs don't go in vain, especially when you want to win against a very stagnant offense like the New York Jets with a quarterback that struggles on the road. What you must do is make him beat you by going the length of the field, by putting pressure on him, by making him uncomfortable. He's shown that when uncomfortable, he can do some very orthodox things. That includes turning the football over to the other team. So it'd be in your best interest to make sure that when you punt the football, You play some good special teams, you pin them deep in their own territory, and you make them drive the length of the field. So why I bring up a simple punt that's not a big play in the game, for one reason and one reason alone. Give the Dolphins, you pick up a couple of first downs, you're punting from around the 40-yard line. This should be an opportunity for you to flip some field position, for you to punt this football, have them fair catch it at the 10, have it dribble down to the 7, and have your guys down this inside the 10-yard line and make Geno Smith and the New York Jets funky offense drive 93 yards, drive 90 yards for a touchdown, drive 60 yards for a field goal attempt. Instead, Brandon Fields kicks it 18 yards net. The Jets start around the 40-yard line. So what that does is that gives the Jets excellent field position. And guess what the Jets do? They go 3 and out. So it doesn't matter. But you know what that does? By them getting the football at the 40, by them going 3 and out, they get to punt from around the 40-yard line. They get to reverse the field position. So all the good you did on your opening drive by getting a couple of first downs is reversed. It's flipped because you didn't punt it. Just think of what could have come of you kicking this ball inside the 10-yard line, having them fair catch it at the 10, them going 3 and out like they did, and then them having to punt from their own 10-yard line, and you getting the football back around midfield. Wow, what a concept. Instead, you kick it 18 yards, and they get the ball at the 40, and then they go 3 and out, but they get the punt from the 40-yard line, so they punt it and pin you back deep in your own territory. So, there you have it. That's how you squander some field position. That's how you squander the field position game. That's how you waste field position against a bad football team. So, Dolphins can't down the ball inside the 5, allow Geno Smith to connect with David Nelson for 31 yards, and they end up punting. So, here's another opportunity for you to do some damage. You punt the ball again, second possession. Move the football a little bit again. This time, you're able to actually get off a good punt with Brandon Fields. But you can't get down there and stop it. It bounces. It gives you an opportunity to stop it at the 5. Your guy can't get down there and stop it. It gets into the end zone. They get the ball at the 20. Okay, fine. It happens. But then you allow Geno Smith to connect with David Nelson for 31 yards, who I thought was a wonderful pickup for the Jets. A 31-yard hookup from these two. And that pulls the ball out to the 51. Or, the 49-yard line of the Dolphins. Drive stalls out. Guess what that does, though? They get to play the field position game. They get to punt the football, pin you deep again. So, even though you're kind of moving the football, just imagine if you pick up 2 first downs and your drive starts at the 40 instead of the 10. Guess what? You're in field goal range, and that's what I'm talking about. That's why field position is so important. Dolphins weren't playing that game correctly in this football game. And again, against a bad Jets football team with a very lackluster offense, you want to play the field position game and put pressure on Geno Smith. So, Dolphins get the football back, and they start the scoring in this football game toward the beginning of the second quarter on a 14-play, 89-yard drive capped by a 5-yard Mike Wallace touchdown catch. It's 7-0 Miami. But this drive, this touchdown came at a heavy cost. They lost Brian Hartline for the game. He got injured. And there's a difference between getting injured and getting hurt. You can get hurt and come back into the game. Brian Hartline got injured on this particular possession. And you could see this Dolphins offense not running like a well-oiled machine after that possession. When he went down, the tone of this offense, because even though you had to punt on your first 2 possessions, I thought this offense looked smooth. I thought Tannehill looked sharp. I just thought, something here, something there went wrong, and you didn't pick up a first down, but you were picking up 1 or 2 first downs on your opening possessions. I thought Tannehill and the rhythm and flow of this offense was good. Hartline was making some plays early on. I liked how this offense was looking. I thought this was going to be a very productive game. I actually thought the Dolphins played a really good half of football in the first half. Up until the later stages of the first half when this thing kind of fell apart. But once he got injured, I thought that's when this game changed in the favor of the Jets. But it's 7-0 Miami early in this game. Huge stop on 3rd and 1 as the Jets forced to punt the football. They tried to get the first down running the football. Dolphins would have none of it. And again, I thought the Dolphins played extremely well early in this game. Tannehill, and this has driven me nuts all year with the Dolphins. And I've talked about this, and if you watch my videos, you've heard me screaming about this all season long. And I said at some point they have to fix this, or it's going to cost you big down the line. And here it is, the biggest game of your season, and Ryan Tannehill misses a wide open Mike Wallace on a third down for a big gainer. And if you ask me, if he hits him in stride, it's a touchdown. And I hate to revert back to the Pittsburgh days of 60 minutes. But I tell you what, if Mike Wallace is in Pittsburgh, and this is Ben Roethlisberger, not Ryan Tannehill throwing him the football, you bet your big, you know what, that's a touchdown. That's a 89-yard TD strike from Roethlisberger to Wallace. You're seeing that on the highlights at 10 o'clock at night on Fox, or at 6 o'clock on SportsCenter, on ESPN. You're seeing that on the highlights. NFL Network. Touchdown. Mike Wallace. 3 steps behind any defender on the Jets defense. And Tannehill overshoots him by 1.5 yards. Can't happen in week 17. That happens in week 1. That happens in week 5. That even might happen in week 9. This is week 17. How many times are you going to miss this guy with a deep ball? Whether it's short or it's too long. I'm tired of talking about it personally. I mean, really, it's to the point now where you either hit it or you don't. And Ryan Tannehill just doesn't hit the deep ball with Mike Wallace. And I already said this time and time again. If you're not hitting the deep ball with Mike Wallace, you're wasting 65% of what Mike Wallace can bring to the table. You're not fully using and maximizing the potential of Mike Wallace if you're not hitting the deep ball. Because Mike Wallace is the deep ball. That's how he made his money. That's how he made his mark in the National Football League. You can't hit him on the deep ball. You're wasting your time with Mike Wallace. And you're not hitting him with the deep ball. That's a wasted opportunity. This was a chance for the Dolphins to really blow this game out. Take a 14-0 lead, put the pressure on the Jets. They're on the road. They don't score a lot of points. This was an opportunity to make them panic. And instead, it ends in a punt. And the Jets finally woke up after that miss. That near miss, they woke up, they smelled the coffee. They said, okay, well, let's respond with a 10-play, 78-yard drive with a Sheldon Richardson scoring play from the 1-yard line to cap it off. It's 7-0. So Geno Smith, and look, I'll talk about this in a second, but Geno Smith was selling his body out. You would have thought the Jets had an opportunity to go to the postseason, not the Dolphins. It looked like the Jets were the team that needed to win, and they were going to get in with a little bit of help. You would have thought that this was a role reversal game. The Jets were the team that was looking to get in, and the Dolphins were trying to play spoilers. Because if you looked at the two teams, you looked at the body language, you looked at who was leaving it all out on the field, you would have been confused. Because I damn sure was watching the game. I thought the Jets were the team looking to get into the postseason. Because Geno Smith is diving for first downs. Geno Smith is getting helicoptered at the 1. Geno Smith is selling his body out on the line. Guys are going out there trying to make plays. They're excited. I see the Dolphins, and they look like a team that's pressing, that's nervous, that doesn't want to make a mistake. They look like a team playing it close to the vest. The Jets look like the team that was out there playing like they had a chance to go to the postseason. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. You're at home. You're supposed to be the aggressor. And I was looking for pressure on Geno Smith. Where was it? Who was the pressure on Geno Smith? Why is Geno Smith being able to build a house back there? Why is Geno Smith not being forced to make a decision with the football? Why is Geno Smith getting an opportunity to scan the football field? Why is the running game not being smothered by this Dolphins defense? Why are the Dolphins sitting back and allowing Geno Smith to run the football, to survey the field, to find San Antonio Holmes, to find David Nelson, to find Jeremy Curley? Why is he looking for Kellen Winslow? Why is he not being pressured into making a decision that he doesn't want to make, which has been proven he will throw a pick? Why? I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know. Stop asking. I don't know why. So it's 7-0 at this point. Dolphins still in this game. Jets haven't taken control yet, but Rashard Matthews drops a first down on third down punt. Let's stop here for a second. Like I said, I was going to rant. This is the type of thing that happens when Brian Hartline gets injured. Now other guys have to step up, like Rashard Matthews. Wide open, and I'm talking about Tannehill couldn't have went up and breastfed him any better. I mean, literally put the nipple in his mouth and let him suck. He couldn't have the ball was a perfectly thrown ball. It was in stride. If he catches it, he might still be running down the sideline for a touchdown. He might still be running. Hell, he might run all the way to North Miami if he catches this one. But he drops it. He drops it. And that's the sign of a team pressing. That's the sign of a team that's playing not to lose instead of to win. Catch the football. This is the biggest game of the season, and you lay a stinker. You drop the ball. Got a punt, and that leads to a beautiful drive by the Jets, including a gorgeous throw to David Nelson from Geno Smith, which sets up an 8-yard touchdown run by Geno Smith right before the half. It's 14-7 Jets. 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 They're not playing around. They want to stop the Dolphins. That's the one thing about family members that you got to love. And this is why family business is family business. Because one thing about family members that you must know, and you already know this, and if you don't, let me be the one to explain it to you. Family members are the most jealous, envious players and teams on the planet. They're not going to the show. They don't want you going anywhere. If they can't go, neither can you. And that's how family members operate. They would love nothing more than to look up, see you trying to go, grab you by your shirt, and yank you down. And that's what the Jets, their sole purpose in this game was to do. Yank the Dolphins down from the ranks of the playoff teams. Make sure that, hey, we're not going. We got eliminated last week, so we can't go. Neither can you. Neither can you. And it was your job to stiff arm that family member and say, hey, back up. This is my time. I got a ticket. I'm going to the dance. You're staying home. And instead, you let the Jets smack you around, rip up your ticket to the dance, throw it down the sewer, and they made you stay home. So it's 14-7. And this is what I'm talking about. Geno Smith diving, helicoptering, and he's setting out his body. And I'll talk about when Tannehill had an opportunity to do the same thing, and he didn't. And Geno Smith gets by the 1-yard line, and he won't go down. Here comes his teammate, Bilal Powell, pushes him into the end zone. It's 14-7. So they wanted it more. They wanted it. Here's an opportunity. It's 14-7 at the half. Okay? Dolphins come out, and nothing happens for a little while. Then the Dolphins get an opportunity. Okay? It's 3rd and 21. You find yourself in a very precarious situation. Nobody wants to be in 3rd and long. Hell, let alone 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15. This is 3rd and 21. Man, there's not a play in the playbook for 3rd and 21. But the play breaks down, and Ryan Tannehill, a lot of people forget, used to be a wide receiver, got some sneaky athleticism, can run a 4.6 40. And people forget about that because he doesn't run that often. But Tannehill fails to dive and sell out on 3rd and 21, ends up being short by a yard. Let me stop right here, okay? You want to win this game? If I'm a Dolphins fan, this is my question to Ryan Tannehill at this very moment. When this play happens, if I'm watching the game live as this happens, I'm screaming at my television, asking him, does he want to win this game? Okay? First of all, you used to be an ex-receiver, so you should be able to take a shot. Okay? This is a one-time thing. I'm not asking for you to take your body and put it on the line. I'm not asking you to be this guy that's out here reckless taking shots all the time. I'm asking you for one game. One game for us to get into the dance. I need you to leave it all on the field. I don't need a slide. I don't need you to give yourself up after 20 yards and it's 3rd and 21. I need 22 yards on this play. I need 21 yards on this play. I need you to dive head first. And he had more than enough space to dive and pick up 24 yards on this play. He got scared, saw a couple of Jet defenders coming from both sides, and instead of him diving, which he would have gotten his first down, and he would have got out of harm's way, and he would have been down before any malicious hit would have came his way, he decides to take the soft route. Let me slide. Let me slide and make sure I don't get hurt. Dive for the first down, man. We need this. We need this game. Dive. Sell out. Geno Smith is diving and selling out. They don't need this game. They want this game. We need this game. Dive. No, you slide. It's short. Okay, it's 4th and 1. You put your head coach in a tough situation. Now he has to make a TD. You know what a TD is? A tough decision. He has to make a TD. And what does he say? Let's go for it. We need this game. He's being aggressive because he thinks his players are going to be aggressive too. Now, it's 4th and 1. Fins go for it. Hand the football off. Don't get it. Get stymied by this Jets defense. The #1 rush defense in the league. Good luck trying to pick up a yard against them. Hey, I felt like Lamar Miller had a really good football game against this Jets defense running the football. But on this play, you weren't going to pick up 1 yard. Weren't going to do it. And that was the football god saying, hey, if you want to be really prissy and you want to be soft and you want to slide on 30-21 when 24 yards is there if you dive head first, then no, you don't get an extra yard for that. You don't get it on 4th down. You get stopped. To me, that was the defining play that the Jets wanted this game more than the Dolphins did. I was flabbergasted when I saw that. That let me know Ryan Tannehill mentally wasn't where he needed to be to help his team win. And I question whether he has it. Because right there, if you've got it, your instincts take over. You forget about your safety and your health, and you realize that these 53 guys in this locker room have been battling all year long, including myself. We put it all out on the line, and we've gotten ourselves to this position. And right now, this situation doesn't call for me to slide. It calls for me to dive and to give it everything I got to sell out to give my team a chance. And instead, he was thinking about, I need to get down. I don't want to get hurt. This isn't a good chance for my team. I can't put my team in a tough spot. I got to slide. I got to be cautious here. I got to make sure that I don't get injured. I don't want to get hit. I got to slide. Okay? Well, have fun with your little slide. Come up yards short with your slide. Give the Jets the football at midfield with your slide. And that's what you did. After an impressive 9-play, 61-yard drive that started at their own 10, the Dolphins take the football. Tannehill is picked off by D. Milliner. The Jets get into field goal position, but Nick Folk misses from 35 yards out. But the next possession, he hits from that very same distance, 17-7. So Tannehill puts together his best drive since the injury to Brian Hartline. 9 plays, 61 yards. They started at their own 10. They're moving the football. They're in scoring range already. They're going to, at worst, to get a field goal out of this possession. And he picks on D. Milliner one too many times. And he gets picked off. And to me, that was the last gasp in this game because the Jets go down. They miss a field goal, but then they go back down the field and get another field goal attempt from 35 yards. Folk hammers it. It's 17-7. You're down 2 scores. You struggled to score the last 2 weeks. Didn't score at all in Buffalo a week ago. Haven't scored since Brian Hartline has went out of the lineup. Guys haven't stepped up and made plays. And that includes everybody. Tannehill, Rashard Matthews, Mike Wallace, everybody. Nobody's making a play. Charles Clay had a couple of chances to bring down some tough balls. Nobody made plays in this game for the Dolphins. That's what it all boiled down to. Jets made plays. David Nelson made some tough catches. Kellen Winslow caught a ball down by his balls one time, tried to drop it 3 times, still caught it and made a big play. They made plays. Geno Smith diving for first downs, getting in the end zone, making things happen when there's nothing there. They wanted this game more than the Dolphins did. If you want to lose a winning end game, if you want to know how you play not to win, then look at this Dolphins game. They did everything the wrong way in this game. Everything. And at 17-7, Tannehill picked off by Ed Reed on a ball that's caromed up into the air off of the fingertips of one of his receivers into the waiting arms of Ed Reed, who dives, picks it off, and that led to a late field goal. It's 20-7 at this point. The game's over. The Dolphins are running out of time. And you see the hourglass slowly running out of sand as this Dolphins team, and I'm done ranting. I've said what I needed to say. I'll say this. Dolphins had a wonderful season, especially when you factor in all of the things that they had to go through to get to this point. I mean, they came to a crossroads on Halloween against the Cincinnati Bengals at home. And after losing to Tampa Bay the previous week, you thought they were done. And they stood up, got a win in overtime, and it kind of catapulted them back into contention. And they were able to scratch and claw and win some tough games, went on the road, beat Pittsburgh late in the season, did some things to put themselves in a position to make the postseason and to piss it away the way they did. Oh man, it's tough. That's a tough, bitter pill to swallow. If you're a Dolphins fan, if you're a member of that team, it's a tough pill to swallow because with 2 games left, I told you, just win one. Just win one of those games. The Ravens aren't winning both of those remaining games. Hell, you could argue they weren't going to win either one of them. And the Patriots was the one that they had to have because they weren't going into Cincinnati and winning. I had told you that. And they didn't win against the Patriots. So the path was essentially cleared for you. Just win one of your final 2 games. You couldn't beat Buffalo. Look, I told you that was going to be a toughie. I said I wouldn't want to be a team going into Buffalo late in the season. I said that 6 weeks ago. I don't want to go into Buffalo. I've seen the way they play football at home. They beat Carolina. They beat Baltimore. They almost beat the Patriots. They're a dangerous team at home. I don't want to be the team that has to go into Buffalo and win at the end of the season. I already said that. So I called that one. Fine. You lay an egg. You lay a stinker at Buffalo. Fine. Whatever. But to come home, a team in the Jets that you disassembled. You disassembled this Jets team in their place 3 weeks ago. Took them apart piece by piece. But you made them bench Geno Smith in that game. You disassembled them at home to come in to your place to allow them to do what they did to you. I don't get it. I don't understand. Help me with some clarity. I don't get it. Mentally, I'm lost. I don't understand. Help me. Help me to understand. And now they're contemplating firing Joe Philbin, who I thought did a fabulous job of holding his team together with some Bazooka Joe, some duct tape, and a couple of sticky pads. I thought he did a wonderful job of holding his team together. And now his job's on the line because his players didn't go out and execute. Shame on them. And I don't think Joe Philbin deserves to be fired. I thought he did a wonderful job. But they want to wash their hands of that whole Jonathan Martin, Richie Incognito situation. They want to start over. They don't want that cloud hanging over their head. And the last thing hanging over their head that keeps reminding them of that situation is the coaching staff. So if they get rid of them, they can wash their hands of this situation and they can start all over again. That very well might happen. And if it does, it's unfortunate because if you make the postseason, we're not even having this discussion about Joe Philbin. We're talking about the marvelous job he did of holding his team together when it looked like all was lost. Not probably going to happen now. But let's talk about Rex Ryan saving his job and then we'll get out of here. What a job he's done this season. Look, I've never been a huge Rex Ryan fan. I think he talks a lot. His offense is never good. His defense is always top-notch. I don't think he gets enough out of his offense. I don't think he pushes the offense enough because he's a defensive-minded coach. And I think it's a disservice to his defense the way his offense performs on a week-in, week-out basis. He does just enough. Even when Mark Sanchez took this team to the AFC Championship game twice, it seemed like the offense did just enough and the defense was dominant, and they had a run game. He never axed enough. Much like Tony Dungy in Tampa Bay. He never axed enough of his offense. But I tell you what, I came out at the beginning of this season, before the year even started, and said the Jets are the worst team in football. They don't have any talent, and they're going to win 4 games. 4. That's all I could give them. And really, I said they were a 2-win team, but I said, no way they only win 2. Rex is going to coach up the defense. They're going to win 4 games. For him to get 8 victories out of this ragtag bunch, 8 victories, that's one hell of a coaching job. He should be up for Coach of the Year. I don't think people understand how much coaching it took for this team in New York, called the Jets, to win 8 games. And for that, Rex Ryan not only deserves to be back in New York coaching his team next season, which he is. They've already come out and said he'll be back. And they realize the coaching job he did with this group. They understand what he had to do to get these guys to win 8 games, even be in the playoff discussion in week 15. They understand what it took and what he had to do. This wasn't a good football team. Defensively, sure. Offensively, how the hell do you win a game with Geno Smith at quarterback, Belial Powell and Chris Ivory in the backfield, Bohannon as your fullback, Santonio Holmes, in a group of ragtag receivers. No Stephen Hill. And even when he's there, what good is he? Jeremy Curry in and out of the lineup like a yo-yo. And you just signed David Nelson off the street. So I don't want to hear that this Jets team is a solid bunch because, frankly, I don't know how they won 8 games. I don't know why. Stop asking. But I tell you what, Rex Ryan deserves all the credit, and I'm going to give it to him. And he deserves to be back. Not only does he deserve to be back, he deserves to have an extension. And I hope he gets it. But what a job. That's going to do it for me here in the lab room. Dolphins blow an opportunity, drop to 8-8. Jets get the win, go to 8-8 as they win 20-7 in Miami. Heartbreaking loss for the Dolphins, but they didn't play well enough. They didn't deserve to win this game, and they did it. Jets deserved to win this game, and they did. They took it to them from the start to finish, and they get the win 20-7. That's going to do it for me here in the lab room. I thank you for joining me on this program. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Thank you for joining me. I've got plenty of games to break down in week number 17, so come back and join me. A lot of teams had opportunities to cross the finish line, get that ticket, get into the dance. Dolphins were one of them. They squandered that opportunity. They're not going anywhere but home now. Come back and join me as I continue to break down the season finale, week number 17, in the National Football League.